Chicago, like most big cities, has its fair share of unsolved crime. And in most of these cases, somebody saw or heard something. Somebody may have seen a suspicious person, a car driving away from the scene, or simply overheard somebody talking about the case. With your help, we can put these criminals behind bars where they belong. Here in Chicago, we have too many unsolved murders. We need your help. In these cases, the police department is only as strong as the citizens that get involved. Oftentimes, all the detectives need is a tip, a start. Somebody to call in and say, I saw something. Any little information that you know can be the impetus to solve the entire case. On tonight's episode, we'll take a look at the case of Alex Martinez. On January 11th, 1998, Alex Martinez, a fun-spirited, outgoing individual, was talking to his girlfriend outside of a house party. Unbeknownst to Alex, another individual was hiding in the area. That individual stepped out and began to fire shots towards the two, striking Alex. Here's the story.
When he was born and they brought him back to me, I was just so happy. He had always been my bundle of joy. I was really happy to see him and hold him in my arms.
Growing up with him was a task because Alex was a very high-spirited type of kid. I mean, he was into everything.
He had a sister, a younger sister, that I would call them my Tom and Jerry, because they would always pick on each other and fight each other and run around. And sometimes it was very funny, other times it was kind of annoying. But that's how he was, just wanted to play all the time.
Back then in the days, it was, 70s and 80s growing up, we didn't have all this technology. It was basically you going outside and you're making an adventure of it. And Alex was that type of kid. He would climb trees and play in dirt, and, just get along with everybody on the block and enjoy his life. He was a joyful type of kid.
Like I remember growing up playing cops and robbers, or we used to have these woods in the back of the house, and we used to go play in, kind of like Marines and, just stuff like that. So it was you had somebody, I always had a play partner. I was somebody you can definitely turn to and like have fun with.
He loved the wrestling. Him and his brother were very good at it, and my son really loved following after his brother.
Me being older, about 4 or 5 years older than he was, he'd always want to be in tow. I could go swimming at the park or at the school, play basketball, football on Sundays. So yeah, he idled me, of course, in a way, which I liked.
My mom and I were discussing that, a time where having a bad day, Alex was the type of person that would just bring light to the situation. No matter what it was, he was easy to get along with, always reliable, dependable. He loved his family. He was real close to all of us, and he went out his way for his family.
With my grandmother, I used to take care of her because she became ill and she came to live with us. And my son was always catering to her, He would always walk her to the car and open the door, and I always ask, are you okay, Grandma? Do you want anything? Do you need anything? And I was, happy about that, that he was special in that way.
He wanted to do the American dream. He wanted to finish school. He wanted to become a United States Marine, get married, have children. There was no limit to his wants. He had a really good and big imagination.
I think one of his best qualities was his sense of humor. He's definitely a fun guy. And I to this day, if I meet somebody who knew him, they always say, man, you got your brothers, you guys have the same witty personality.
On the 11th of January back in 1998, evidently there was a party going on with the victim's girlfriend. She was at a house in the Marktown area, and the victim had received a ride to go over there and speak with her. And evidently when he went to the house, he summoned her out of the house. And at that point, an argument began between the two. And unbeknownst to him, there was another subject that was hiding somewhere in the area that happened to step out while he was arguing with the girlfriend. And that subject stepped forward and fired several shots, striking him a couple times, which subsequently he died from.
That night, I was there visiting with Alex, picking up my son, Ray. You know, he spent some time with his nephew.
My husband and I were at night watching TV, and my daughter and I were playing. We were throwing pillows around and just being silly. You know, my husband was there just watching TV, and everything was, we were just having fun, you know, typical evening night.
I was actually at a bachelor party for one of my best friends in high school, and we'd gone to dinner, and we actually wound up being at the bachelor's part as house. Half of them wanted to go to a strip club, half of us didn't. I didn't really want to go, so me and a couple of my friends went to a little, just like a little sports bar by the house.
I went home, and not even an hour later, get a phone call from the girlfriend, and at the time, and you know, she's screaming frantically that, you know, Alex has been shot.
This is when like pagers were like the thing, and I had a page for my sister, 911, and I called, and my brother-in-law answered and said that Alex had gotten shot.
And then all of a sudden, the phone rang. And there was silence in the house.
That was kind of the day that kind of changed, you know, our lives.
Have you been in an accident? Have you been the victim of discrimination or had your rights violated? Have you been injured? If so, the lawyers at Hale Law would love to talk to you. We offer a free consultation. Call me, Andy Hale, 312-870-6926. 312-870-6926. I look forward to talking with you about your case.
On the 11th of January back in 1998, officers responded to a shots fired call in reference to a man being down in the area of 403 Grove Street in the Marktown area of East Chicago. One of the first responding officers got there and he observed a man lying on the ground bleeding. The victim was taken to St. Catherine's Hospital and unfortunately he died.
I think this affected me more, the fact that it was so sudden. It was so like, no goodbyes, no, you know, I love you, especially on I love you. You know, that was kind of our family thing.
You think, you know, that would bring a family together. It really tore our family apart. We had younger siblings that were way younger, and you know, for them to have to deal and cope with something like that at such a young age, you know, it was hard. You know, it brought a lot of grief, a lot of pain, still to this day.
It's a very important when you have an important group of people who love each other so much, and something is taken from you. The emptiness is so great. It's so painful that it takes, I mean, years just even like to breathe again, I guess, in a way.
It was initially investigated, and I guess things didn't pan out for the detective that was working on the case, and subsequently it was placed in a location where we keep open files. Back in 2008, I was approached by the sister of the victim, and the sister had asked whether or not I would be interested in helping with the case, and I essentially just gathered all the things that were on file, as many records and things that I could find of witnesses and victims' information and the physical evidence that was there. And I basically just started working the case from there. I ended up speaking to some of the witnesses over again, and then there was other witnesses that developed, and they were the ones that were able to give me the statements that I was able to take to the Lake County Prosecutor's Office. And they were able to give us charges against the subject for murder.
Please let us know if you know anything. Please help us to bring closure. You will be doing the right thing in life.
We hope that you can empathize with us and say, you know what, it's been too long. They need to sleep well at night and sleep well on his birthday and enjoy his life instead of grieving it.
There's so many ways to provide information, anonymous ways, texting, you know, emails. I mean, whatever it is you have to do just to give some kind of, you know, information to help us move forward. You know, we're still looking for Javier. We need to know where he's at.
I know that Nora Ferrer has been actively seeking the apprehension of Javier Oropesa for years now. She essentially was the one that pushed the investigation, and it was because of her that I took an interest in the case and was able to get charges filed. And since the actual charges have been filed, I know that she has been trying to do everything she can to help locate the suspect. He's a Latin male, Mexican male. His name is Javier Oropesa. He's about 5'5". At the time of the incident, he was 120 pounds. He was, at the time of the incident, in his 20s, so he's in his early to mid-30s at this time. We're unsure as far as what his weight would be at this time. He has a scar on his right cheek that was pretty profound at the time, so he could probably be identified with that as well. If anyone has any information, you can contact the Chicago Police Department at either of two numbers. The first would be 219-391-8500, and the second would be 219-398-COPS.
We're still stuck on January 11, 1998. We can't move forward because there's nothing to heal. It's still open. It still hurts. It's still deep.
The cases you just watched remain unsolved, and we need your help. If you have any information on tonight's episode or any other cases, please give our detectives a call. We need our communities to come together so we can take back our streets and make our neighborhoods a safer place.